Hi, everybody, and welcome back to your new favorite podcast. I mean, my life. Every day is a train wreck. Marley Major, and I have a very, very lovely and exciting guest for you guys here. Viola Murrone, who is very Italian, and we're going to talk about a lot of Italian things, including her Italian witches today. So I promise you, you are not going to want to miss this. Viola, say hello to your new tribe of fabulous followers.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Thank you for having me.
It doesn't get any more lovely than you, Viola. If you guys, so I'm going to tee this up, and Viola is probably not going to be too happy that it's not as like professional a bio as it should be, but remember who we're dealing with here. So Viola is my Reiki / crystals girl, basically. I don't even know what else to say. Now, before you hang up and are like, this is so stupid, I want you to know Viola has like a very serious career, like with Chanel and their international situation. And the husband works for a very, very, very like high-end international company. So it's not like I just rolled her in from the street because I didn't have anybody to interview. Okay. So I have really been looking forward to this. And I literally look forward to every time I talk to Viola, which is I try to talk to her once a week. It kind of sounds a little bit Nancy Reagan-ish, having nothing to do with politics, but it's like, you know, she was always consulting her astrologer. I feel like I should be consulting Viola. There are a lot of people who are going to listen to this that I'm related to who A, don't know I talk to Viola every week, B, are going to be horrified. So it's not that my followers are going to go down. I just feel like the number of family members who speak to me might go down. So Viola, how I met Viola was, so you guys know before I had my own podcast, I was a permanent podcast guest. I was always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Didn't really want a podcast, you know, because I didn't want to do the editing. I didn't want to do all this stuff. And then Mission Matters came along and was like, we'll do all that. Please do the podcast. So I was like, okay, awesome. So then I was like, but I wanted to be able to talk about what I wanted to talk about. So as you guys know, this is all about the backstory, how everything looks so perfect on one side, but then it's all about the backstory. Okay. So here I am going to be a guest on this woman's podcast, and not Viola, the woman. And I am listening, and I was booked by the agent to do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my homework like I always do. So I listened to some past podcasts, and this chick was very cool, the one I was going to be on the show for. But then I stumbled across Viola. And now remember, you guys will start to learn. I love crystals and all this fun stuff. I'm a Sagittarius. Of course I do. But I also like science, and I also like data, etc. So here I am listening to these different podcasts, and, you know, freaking Viola Murrone with the accent and the whole situation gets on, and she's talking about, you know, we deep dive into the crystals and the chakras. And I was like, oh, Mary, Mother of God. Okay. But then I started listening to Viola. Well, then guess what? Now it's time for me to do the podcast interview with this girl, and all I can talk about is freaking Viola. So I'm like, oh my God, I listened to your other thing. Like I kind of started it as, hey, listen, you guys get excited and listen to this other girl's podcast. But then it turned into like, I think I'm obsessed with Viola. So she's like, great, like I'll hook you up. Okay. And that's all I want to talk about. So then she hooks me up with Viola, and I'm going back and forth. And then it was like, you could have an introductory reading, or I don't know what it was. And I think at that point, Viola, maybe the Zoom call or whatever might have blown up. I don't know if Mercury is in retrograde. But I think Viola in that very first call said something like I was like a tree with very deep roots. Okay, so already I'm like in love with Viola, but then happy with the fact that I have a tree with deep roots, because to me, I feel like a bamboo forest blowing in the wind. Okay, so she and I chat, and then lo and behold, for some reason, I decided I need to now talk to her every week. So then we get into the Reiki. And at that point, I knew I'd had Reiki before for a minute. Just, I don't think I've ever told you this, but I thought Reiki was like the sound bath. Okay. So I thought I was going to get like a weekly sound bath. And then my boyfriend, who we will introduce later, but you know, we're going to call him Juan Dangerous. He was like, what in the hell are you doing? So I have to very much minimize all this. So I think I'm going to have a sound bath. No, it turns out Reiki is something totally different. She's going to tell you what it is. And then the crystals get involved. The next thing you know, I've got the crystals out for the moon. It was a full moon, I think, last night. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I go to Viola retreat last week where we learn about the violet flame. And I never heard about the violet flame. I'm just kind of funny that to me, that's Viola. And then all hell kind of breaks loose. The portals are open for 11/11. and I have this new tribe of fabulous friends, and I want you guys to meet Viola and hear all about the story and what she does. Most importantly, why she does it. Because they say she had like a hardcore career with Chanel. And to me, I'm like, oh my God, just the employee discount. Like, how did you ever leave that? So, and she has a hot husband. So, also unfortunate. By the way, I heard when the girls, when it was like, oh, the hot husband came, she's like, that freaking husband is hot. I said, oh, I know. I was like, okay, I had to leave the retreat like a night early. And I was like, the one freaking thing I leave is when the hot husband comes. Not that I want to steal my girl Viola's husband, but I knew he was hot. I didn't, thank God I didn't want any part of that. And the other thing is Viola is about 90 pounds soaking wet. Okay. She's going to tell you here she drinks affogato and eats bolognese, and it's the most annoying thing ever. She also will say I bully her. I do not. On that note, Viola, welcome to the train wreck.
Thank you. I cannot do like I have a conversation with you without laughing.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. That's what, believe me, that's what we're after. Okay. Because the alternative is not good.
Okay, I'll send you a picture of my husband if you want.
Yes, send a picture of that. Well, most importantly, send it so that, quite frankly, the man should be on OnlyFans. So forget about the jewelry career he's got. He should be on OnlyFans. Well, they both should be on OnlyFans, but that's a whole other conversation. But I just send a photo so that when we promote this, I'd say we promote with you and your 88 pounds soaking wet, and with a photo of him. And I guarantee you, as I say, OnlyFans will be the first time they ever solicit to get a father of two. Okay, so how'd you get into this? Like, why Chanel to crystals in Miami?
Okay, so that's a very good question. No one ever asked me. And I would like everybody to know that this interview was not prepared. So I'm just picking rabbits out of magician hats.
A magician hats of rabbits. Okay, we got lots of rabbits. Okay, everybody. So prepare. The rabbits are jumping. That's appropriate considering the mating rabbits and her hot husband. Anyway, keep going. Keep jumping.
I loved working for Chanel for many reasons. And like I love fashion. I think I've always loved communication. I studied communication sciences at university. So to me, clothes and moving and everything, it is a form of communication. So I really love, and Chanel is an amazing brand. I mean, of all the brands you can pick, I think there's very few other brands that I would have picked if it was not Chanel.
Beyond, you are correct.
However, I believe that my path to what I'm doing now started really, really early. Like, I don't know if I've ever told you, my first receiving Reiki, I was 9 years old.
That's from the witches, right? You got that from the witches?
No, the Reiki was actually from this professional. And it is funny now that I look back at it, like nowadays, people accept a little bit more spirituality. Right. So you don't have to, I don't want to say that he was faking it. He was not faking it. But for example, when you would go, he had an office that looked like the office of a doctor. And I remember the guy always wearing this white thing, like he looked like a doctor. So to me,
the Reiki guy.
Going to it. Yes, the Reiki guy.
And was he Italian?
Yes. He was Italian. I come from a really small town. Like actually where I grew up is I think we can call it village. It was like about 50 people.
Okay, I remember you telling me something about a goat or something. Everybody knew that there was one boy goat or something, right? That smelled. Okay, so keep going. I like this village is going to become a shrine. So I just want you to know if we'll get a nice big male audience because Viola's hot and they're going to go to the village. Okay, keep going.
But this guy worked in the main town and my mom would bring me there. I remember now after what I know and after working, I know exactly, it makes sense what he was doing. But I remember I had problem with my guts and he would put his hands on my ears. And I was like,
why?
Doing, I was like, whatever. But my problems is the thing I was hearing. Like my grandmother, she got a really, really, really bad cancer that year. Okay. And my mom, she's had a nervous breakdown. So altogether, the things I was hearing were like stressing me out. And 9-year-olds, it's hard to process things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up in the 80s, in the 90s. We didn't have this emotional intelligence,
Right.
that we have nowadays. So it was like, this is what is happening. This is what you're hearing. Deal with it.
But wait, I kind of know what you were hearing, but I'm not sure our new listeners know what exactly were you hearing? Were you hearing the grandmother from the grave?
No. I would hear like my grandma, my people saying that my grandma might, wasn't feeling well. You don't know if she's dying. It was a cancer and they had to operate. My mom, she was having a nervous breakdown. So I would hear, oh, she fainted this morning. She went to the market and she fainted. So it was really hard to process all those things happening around.
So they weren't at this point like voices from Mars. They were genuinely like people around saying things, and then your brain is just like repeating them and getting all this overload for a 9-year-old.
Marley, I think you just brought me an epiphany.
Oh, Merry Christmas. What was it?
Because that was the year that I remember the first time hearing someone.
Okay. So now we are hearing the real things, the Italians, bop, the mom, bop, the grandmother. And you're also hearing somebody else,
My great grandmother.
but who is past, correct?
Yes.
Great grandmother is past. She was also Italian.
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody's from the same village.
No, not from the same village, but everybody's Italian.
So it's not an interbreeding thing that you heard about the grandmother or whatever, the dead great grandmother. No.
No, it was like my mom was having a nervous breakdown. Her mom had the cancer, but the grandma I was hearing was the mom of my grandfather.
Who was probably saying nobody should have married into this family in the first place. Okay, what were they saying to you?
She would call me. I would hear her calling Viola. She would call me, but it was really scary. I have to be honest. I was really, really scared. So every time she would call, I would yell.
Like she called like the town square bullhorn, or she called like, how did she call? Like it wasn't a phone.
I would hear her voice like now. If I would say Marley,
Yeah.
that's what I would hear.
Okay, so you thought it was out loud.
Yeah. I could hear it with my ears.
Got it.
I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure.
Maybe yes. Maybe that's also something that I had to process with my ears, the hearing.
Okay.
So what happened with the energy, and that's why now it makes sense that he was healing my stomach, putting his hands in my ears.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Is that was what was causing probably my internal issues. It's what I was hearing. So he was trying to heal my ears, like the way I process the information. The guts, they really represent how you digest life.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know how deep we can go, but basically
go deep. I mean, you weren't digesting Jack at this point, right?
I was having a lot of IBS.
Okay.
A lot. And these really represent when you struggle, when you receive life, and then you're like, I don't want it. I don't want to have anything to do it. I don't want to process.
Okay.
So this is how it was working in my body.
Okay.
That was the very first time I've done it.
Okay.
And then I've worked with it. My mom and my grandma, they've always been really, now I'm going to say herbs.
Okay, herbs. We have, Viola, one pause is that the rest of us say herbs in the US. Viola has been running around saying herbs and US Weekly as opposed to Us Weekly. So she's now going to talk about herbs and had no idea there is also a man's name called Herb. So just a little station identification. So talk about the herbs.
I found out like a few days ago when Marley
on
was
the
there.
retreat. Yes, when we were there. Okay, keep going.
They work with herbs and, all these things. And then my very first, I know you love the Italian, which is how you call them. They're basically my aunt and my cousin.
Yeah.
At the first contact with, actually I was younger. I was 6 the first time I've done that with them.
So maybe a little reorganization of your time chart in your brain. Okay, 6 were the witches, or 6 was the guy who?
6 was the witches and the guy was 9. And the no witch.
The guy with the towing service who was pretending to be the doctor. Okay, so then 9 is the guy with the ears and the 2 grandmothers and the mother.
Yeah, so I feel that what I'm doing now is basically reconnecting to my nature before.
Got it. Okay.
I feel like, you grow up, you go to university, you want to have, this is what people think nowadays. I don't do necessarily a job that people respect,
Got
but before at Chanel, I was doing a job that people respect. I was
Right.
working for an amazing company. I had an amazing career.
Right.
But I feel that there was a deeper calling, and doing what I do now, it feels so right. I was talking to someone lately. They told me, would you go back to Chanel?
Oh.
I loved working there and I was really happy. But the fulfillment that I feel at the moment,
Yeah.
it's really hard to let go of it because it feels that I am what I'm meant to be.
Yeah. And which is a nice feeling and also very rare. Most of us are like searching. I mean, that's why there's, cocaine problems and everything else, because everybody's searching for things that they don't already feel. When do you think that you started to feel that way? How many years ago did you start to say, hey, you know what? This is what I'm meant to do. And you were like kind of sure about the life path?
In 2015, when I've done my first Reiki course.
Oh, okay. So what made you go to the Reiki course? Because you were still hearing the dead grandmother at that point in the ears, or the tow truck guy cleared the ears by that point, or no?
No, a more physical thing. I had like really bad stomach issues. I had a really bad gastritis. No, it went up to the stomach. It was not the guts anymore.
So it goes guts to stomach. He'd given you the herbs. Obviously, they weren't the right ones because it's all 2015 and you're still not cured.
I did feel better when I was 9. And then when I was 26, 27, I was still living in London at the time. I started feeling really sick.
So you had a good run there, 9 to 26 or 27. So
Very good.
17 years or so, you're kind of white hot Viola.
Yeah. I was very fine and happy living my life.
But you hadn't met the husband yet.
I met him when I started having stomach issues. I should think
That's where
about
I'm
this.
headed. See, I should be the Reiki girl. Okay, so you meet him in what year? Or how old are you?
I was 25, 26 in 2008.
There you go. That makes me feel old. Okay, so 2008, you meet the hot husband, the stomach goes south again.
For a while, I think what was really is like I was, like you were saying now, I was trying to find my space in the world. I had
Yeah.
finished my master degree. So I was like, that's it. Now I have to be successful,
Yeah, and what was the master's in out of curiosity?
Cultural management.
What in the...
I know it's very messy. I used to work in art galleries in London.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Okay, so all right. It's starting to get even better at this point. Okay. Keep going.
Very messy. I always loved all the job I've done.
Yeah.
I'm like this, when I start something, I love, like I have the enthusiasm, and all the jobs I've done, I always have contact with people, which is what I love and enjoy the most. So I was like, okay, we spend time together, I'm fine. But that's I think this is a difference between enjoying your job and being happy
Sure.
superficially
Mhm.
and finding a job where you meet yourself.
That's what this whole podcast is about, is how, like, at this point, you're living in London, you're white hot. Now you've met the hot husband. You don't know the hot husband yet, but it looks amazing on the outside at this point, right? If Instagram were around, you'd be the cover girl. Okay. So something is off and you got to kind of figure that out, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
this was really affecting me. I knew, and I wanted to be successful and go. You're young, you want to own the world, no?
Yeah.
I feel that it really stressed me. It put a lot of I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm really lucky. The people around me, nobody ever told me, you have to do, you have to be. But I think that we saw it a lot from society.
Yeah.
So I was feeling bad. And then we decided from London to move to Brazil.
And is he the husband by this point, or he's still the concubine?
No. We got married. Yeah. We got married.
Okay.
He was the husband at the time.
Okay.
Which made it even easier to have the visa to move to Brazil and be able to work.
Yeah.
And it just got worse and worse and worse. I went to the hospital several times in the middle of the night because of pains that I couldn't get rid of. I remember once I went to the hospital, they gave me 2 IV. And after 2 IV, I said to the doctor, you need to give me more. And the doctor looked at me and I was like, I cannot. And I was like, this is the most I can give. And was like, the next step is morphine. I cannot give you morphine for stomach pain.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah.
It was terrible. And then I spoke with a friend that we were talking actually about this case of the hospital.
Yeah.
And she's like, have you ever thought about the friend? She was the wife. Unfortunately, her husband had passed at the time. And her husband was one of my father's best friends.
Back in the village with the smelly goat.
No, they were in the Navy.
Okay. Okay.
And she said to me, have you ever thought about doing Reiki? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, my mom brought me to do Reiki when I was 9. Why
Right.
didn't I think of it? So I called the lady that she recommended me. And the funniest thing, she said to me, I'm not going to give you Reiki. I'm not supposed to give you Reiki. You're supposed to heal yourself.
Oh, there you go.
And I was like, okay, that's not helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what she said, listen, next time I'm going to do a course and I'm going to teach Reiki. I call you and you can come to the course.
Okay. This is in Brazil.
In Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was it. So I went to do the course. In 3 months, I was cured.
How long was the course?
The course is like the ones I give. Like most people give courses like this. It's like 2 days.
So a 2-day course, but you're cured, and that's a nice return on investment. How much was the course?
I don't remember.
Viola, come on.
I don't remember, but it must have been like maybe if you move it in dollars. On top of it, now the real is not very, very high. Maybe $100 or something.
Okay. Yeah, we don't need to get into a UN discussion, but the point is it was very inexpensive in 2 days. So now you do your deal for 2 days. So what are you doing in between day 2 and day 90 or whatever when it's cured? Are you got the magic crystals going? You have the incense. What are you doing?
She asked me to apply Reiki on myself every morning and every night.
Oh boy. And how long is that supposed to take?
About half an hour.
And you fortunately by that point actually had a marriage certificate, right? So the guy could not leave you. I'm assuming there was no wackadoodle-do prenup, right? So
listen, I feel sorry for the people who are listening because my husband sometimes tell me the same. He's like, I believe you because I believe you. I know you wouldn't come,
right.
You come up with weird shit to tell me because you don't have to.
Right.
But he's like, it's hard still.
Okay. It's hard for a lot of people, which is why I'm trying to bridge the gap. But I drink the Kool-Aid now. And all I'm saying is you're married to this guy and you tell him now I got to do Reiki on myself because I took a 2-day class for 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night. He's off like trying to make money for the new family he wants to have, right? And you're what, in the apartment?
No, at the time, I make more money than him.
Oh, excuse me. Wow. I hope, you guys will have to see this part on YouTube because the face she just got when I said that. Oh, I beg your pardon. So maybe, okay. So you're bringing in the cat. What is he doing in the meantime? Then if he's not making any money, he's a waiter or what is he doing?
No. He was making money, but I had a really good position.
Okay. There you go. All right. So
that's why that was the biggest struggle to leave Chanel. I had a really good position. The money that my salary was really good at the time. And it was a really nice job. So it was hard to leave. It was difficult to say, oh, I feel a calling and I'm going to leave everything behind. On top of it, shortly after I cured myself and I had the Reiki, I got my first child. I got pregnant. And then so I did Reiki, what was it? I think March 2015. And May 2016, I've had my first baby.
May 20. So he's a Taurus.
Yes.
Leonardo. Okay, bless him. Okay, so people with fertility issues potentially could tune into this because this is a 14-month journey from you're cured to lovely Leonardo shows up. Okay, so keep going.
I wanted to have more children. So I was like, am I going to leave a job that I like? I'm making good money. I'm enjoying the lifestyle. I want to have more children for something that I don't know of.
Right.
Is it going to work? I'm going to start working. Is it going to work?
Yeah. And in 2016, it wasn't like Reiki was on every street corner.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
What I think in Brazil, they say something beautiful. They say that you learn things through love or through pain.
I'm stacked very heavily in one direction. Okay. Keep going.
2019, I think everything came through pain. So I got pregnant again and I booked my first scan for November the 11th at 11 a.m. November is the 11th month.
wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I wrote it down, and then when I read it again, I was like, oh my God, the 11 at 11. I was like, this baby is special.
Yeah.
So that baby didn't come out. He died. Like the heart wasn't beating.
Mm.
And I remember leaving shattered because I wanted that baby so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the beginning of my path to realize that if I was not going to embrace what I had to do, it was not going to work. Within the time that the baby would have born,
Yeah.
I lost my grandfather and suddenly my father.
Oh my God.
My father passed so my grandfather wasn't well.
Yeah.
And my father has been taking care of him for a really long time. So much that when my grandfather passed, I suffered a lot. But what was making me happy, first of all, is that finally he could rest because he wasn't well. So it was a little bit of a relief for him.
Yeah.
But also relief for my father because he was my mom's dad. But my father took care of him like he was his own father. It was beautiful and painful to watch at the same time. So even with my husband, we said, okay, now we're going to take care of him. You know, he's going to come back to life. It was end of April. And then June, who was it? 3 days before my father passed. I think it was around the 12. It doesn't matter. My husband and my father, they were really, really close.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to Italy in August.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband bought a ticket to go to watch the MotoGP in Austria with my father.
The who?
MotoGP? It's like a Formula One of...
got it. Okay. I thought it was it sounded like a bouillabaisse or something. Okay, keep going.
Watching motorbikes.
Okay,
Valentino Rossi, never heard.
Okay. Got it.
And 3 days after, my father has had a heart attack.
Jeez Louise.
And I was talking to him about this. We were sending messages and then he didn't answer. And I was like, okay, an answer. He's busy.
Louise.
Next thing I know, a few hours after, my husband came to pick me up and he said, your father has had a heart attack. And he passed. One of my father's dreams, let me breathe deeply because then I get emotional. But one of his dreams was to visit New York.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we went to Italy for his funeral and everything. And Rafa had to go for work to Paris.
Rafa's the hot husband, yeah.
And they offered him a job in New York. And when he said to me, and I was about to have a big promotion at Chanel for March 2020. And I was like, you know what? If I get that promotion, I'm not going to leave Chanel never again. I'm not going to have a chance to ever leave Chanel.
Mm-hmm.
And my father wanted to see in New York, there's something that I was like, I think we should go. I think we should go. And then that's it. When I moved to New York, they offered me a job at Chanel, but I couldn't. We started, would you be interested in this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I just moved and I'm pregnant. I don't have a school for Leonardo. I was like, can we, talk again in a few months? And then COVID hit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, time kills all deals. Okay, so
and by that time it was over, I was already working with what I'm doing now.
Isn't that crazy?
And the funniest thing is that I did a course in health and life coaching, and I do practice, we do it together. I do a lot of health coaching.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's leave the Reiki on the side because people don't understand it much. It's something that I'm a Virgo at the end of the day. I'm very earthy. I like things that you can see, touch. I like to be realistic.
Yeah.
And people were asking for Reiki. And I was like, wait. I'm offering health and life coaching.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm on board.
And then was your husband shocked the first time somebody actually like you actually ran the credit card for this? Like where you said, somebody said, listen, I'm going to pay you for this, for the voodoo. I mean, what did he say?
A little bit. He was like, I don't know if it's going to work. And I was like, listen, it's COVID. Let me try. Let me see, worst case scenario, then I go back to working in corporate. I think when things are meant to be, they happen. And I think I mention it so much that you do manifest.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It just starts. It's like, oh, have you ever seen a green car? You're like, no. Then as soon as I say that, now all of a sudden there are green cars everywhere. So,
Yeah.
okay. So 2020. And so now you're in New York. Fast forward, you're doing this. It keeps picking up. Somehow the podcast girl finds you. How did the podcast girl find you? The one that I interviewed with?
We found that each other towards Working Moms Networking Group.
Got it. Okay. So then she networks you into your podcast. I listen. I do this now. Everybody's connect now. And I've got all of Pasadena and Southern California heading to Miami for crystal coaching like last week. Okay. So amazing. Now let's talk for a second about manifesting here because these days, I mean, you can call it goal setting, you can call it whatever you want. I absolutely believe you're going to get what you think about. Like if you think the world is horrendous, the world is going to be horrendous. You know, it's like me when I get up and I'm get up on the wrong side of the bed, all hell breaks loose. It just continues to break loose and break loose and break loose for the rest of the day. So very interesting because you said, hey, listen, I want my husband to get a promotion or something along those lines, right? And this is my favorite part because even professional manifestors, we all have some work to do. Okay. Yeah. So tell us what your goal was and then sort of tell us what happened. Because you're not in New York right now.
No, I'm going to tell you two things which are funny. We're going to start from what you mentioned. Yes, like New York not only is really expensive, but also the taxes because you have city taxes and state taxes. So we were looking at the numbers and I was like, oh my God, like this is pretty bad. And my husband had been working for a few years in New York. So I was like, let's send some energy for you to get the beautiful promotion and to get, some more money and also more meaningful time with us. Because I didn't want him to get this amazing promotion, but then he gets overworked. I really value family. Like, for example,
Well, I'd value having him on a short leash. Okay, keep going. That's what I'd value if I were you. But anyway.
He travels a lot. When he travels during the week, I don't mind because anyway, like, school and I work and the kids is fine. But in the weekend, I like that we spend, time together. So I was like, I want to have this for us.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't know if I ever told you, when I was younger, but still, even after, even when I was doing coaching, when I give an example of something, it's like, something you want, but you don't really want. It's like, for example, I want a house in Miami.
Right.
I said it so many times and never meant it.
You just were kind of like tossing it out there like, oh yeah, ha.
Now, suddenly my husband comes and he's like, Viola, they offer me a really good job, but it's not in New York, it's in Miami.
If you don't know by this time, when you're hearing witches at 6 and all that stuff, and the guy with the ears at 9, you better pay attention to what you say. I don't know how much hope there is. But anyway, keep going.
I cried. I was like, I don't want to go. I used to live in New York, in Brooklyn, in an area. It's really cute. It's called Park Slope. Like, it's fantastic. People are fantastic. It was the community. It was a community I loved. I was like, I don't want to leave.
Yeah. When you were saying that, though, see, for some reason, I thought you were ready to leave New York, but no, you didn't want to leave New York at all?
No.
Got it.
No, I didn't. I had been living in New York for barely 4 years.
Right.
And the first year it was COVID.
Right. Which doesn't even count. Yeah.
Yes. And again, talking about like what seems really good outside, but it's not. When we moved with all our friends in Brazil, oh my God, so lucky you live in New York, amazing. Or like, we didn't know anybody. Everything was shut. We were closed in an apartment. We didn't even have all the furniture. So I made a couch out of our book boxes.
Oh my God.
All the books boxes, I put them all together and I put like soft duvet on top to pretend there was a couch.
So this is what should turn into a DIY podcast with you next. Okay, keep going.
Luna was recently born. She was meant to born in March, but she came out in January.
Of course she did. Yeah.
And it was really stressful. It was stressful and not because we made it work.
Yeah.
But it was very far from ideal. Can you imagine? You just moved to a new country.
No.
Leonardo was 3.5. He couldn't speak any English.
No.
He could speak only Portuguese and Italian.
Oh my Lord. Yeah.
No English at all.
Yeah.
So we watch cartoons in English.
Yeah.
And we didn't have things. So like all the boxes we would receive, you would be very proud of me because I know
Okay.
how creative you are.
Yes. Yes. Tell me.
I made bowling things. I made a theater. I made a Jurassic World Jeep.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
We didn't have anything. We were like, what are we going to do? And Leonardo went from being in school 11 hours a day,
Oh boy.
11
Okay.
hours a day. I would drop him off at 8:30 a.m. and would pick him
Yeah.
up at 7:30 p.m.
Wow. Okay.
And
It
from,
was because he was stupid, or why was he in school so long?
no, it was still daycare. It was still
Oh,
daycare,
Dick.
but
Yeah. 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 Okay.
I used to work full time.
Right. Okay. Right.
And daycares in Brazil, let me tell you, nothing against here, but in Brazil, they keep them longer hours. So it's really comfortable. You don't need to get the daycare and the babysitter and someone else. And then
Like a
like,
daycare boarding school.
yes, he would be there the whole day long.
Yeah. Perfect.
And I would pick him up at 7:30 p.m. They had
Yeah.
already given him a shower, gave
Oh,
him dinner.
nice.
Like he was ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
But then I'm
Perfect.
Italian and I would give him another shower and another
Oh
dinner.
my God.
And we will
Okay.
go
Yeah.
to bed later.
Oh, geez. Okay.
There's
All
no
right.
perfection on this earth.
Okay. No, that's okay. Keep going.
But so, people thought like, oh my God, like it's amazing. You're in New York. And I was like, we're closed in an apartment with a newly
Yeah.
born baby, a child who is begging to see other children and then no other children.
Yeah.
It's been really, really funny. It's been really funny.
So you guys get through that. You're excited. You don't think you're leaving New York. You just say to the universe, Jesus, give my husband more money and have him stay home more. And then he says, guess what? I can do that, but we got to go to Miami. I tell you, I think you're going to, because I thought you were going to love Miami. I'm like, oh my God, you're going to be on fire with the whole Brazil situation, etc. You get to Miami. I learned, since I'm talking to you every week with my crystals, that you do not drive, which I could spend the whole podcast on that. So Viola goes from New York where she doesn't need to drive to now she freaking can't drive, right?
I drive only in Italy.
Okay. There you go.
I don't
In
know
the
how to
village.
drive automatic cars. I think they're really hard.
Okay. So in the village you drive?
Yeah.
Okay, just in the village.
But I know
All right.
how to drive with how do you call it? Stick
The
gear?
stick shift, yeah. Okay. So you're in Miami. From what I recall, I mean, it took you like 9 years to find a school for Leonardo, right? I mean, all I remember was talking about school for Leonardo, and I was like, is Leonardo Chopin? Like, so then there were a lot of reasons why the schools got bad feelings, right? Or there's the bad juju or something with the school, just never right.
The thing is that many people that particularly from New York, they were like, school in Miami, they're not that good in New York. They, the rating. Here you have a different system. In Italy, you move and you shove the kids in the closest school. You don't stress too much about it.
Yeah.
Here was very stressful because you have the school graded A and then in the area. So it was a little bit complicated, but we found the school. We're fine with the school.
Because we can trash on the school. Here's the time, in case you want to. Okay, keep going.
No, I'm not going to trash on the school.
Okay.
Also, if I wanted to trash on the school, I wouldn't do it while my child is still there.
Probably better. That's why you're the guest and I'm the host of the Trainwreck Show. Okay, keep going.
But again, talking about the manifestation going wrong, what I think is really important when I talk about manifestation, and I made this mistake myself, there's a story. So it is from the Greek mythology. I don't remember exactly all the names, but I remember that they told me this story when I was younger. And it really makes sense in English when you say, be careful what you wish for.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Because there is this goddess that falls in love with a human being. And then she goes to Zeus and she's like, oh, I'm in love with him. I want, to be with him forever. I want him to be immortal. And Zeus asked her a few times, are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah, sure you want him to be immortal? And she's like, yeah. There we go. Guy's immortal. Now the years go by and the guy is immortal, but he's getting older and older and older. And I remember what shocked me as a child. It was like, at the end of the story, it was like that this guy was so old that he had become like a shrinked, dried cricket.
Oh, a cricket. I thought you were going to say an apple. The cricket is, what is a shrink dried cricket? I didn't even.
I remember this image in my head.
This is what the Greek god story says. It was a shrink-dried cricket.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Okay. Okay.
And then she goes back to Zeus and she's like, you fooled me because I've asked you. And he's like, I've asked you several times. You were adamant about him being immortal. You should have asked instead for eternal youth.
Oh, right. Because that would have accomplished the same thing, but then he wouldn't be the stinky dry cricket. Got it.
Well, like in my manifesting chart, I put a one more time with my family. I want more money and a promotion for my husband, but I didn't write that I wanted to be in New York where I already was.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So the universe said, okay, fine. Well, here you go. This is easy before she figures
Like,
it
I got
out.
one for you coming up.
Right. Oh, my. Okay. So now you're making the best of it.
Yes.
We have our great retreat last week. I'm introduced to something I swear of all my calls I never heard is the violet flame. And can you walk us through the violet flame, please? Because I think a lot of us could use the violet flame. I originally thought perhaps it was the violent flame because that seems like the flame more I would be attracted to is the violent flame. And there were a few people in many situations this week that I wanted to envelop in the violent flame. I chose not to. I did say Hail Marys while I was on one conference call this week because I thought this person is so stupid. I can't even the violet flame won't help. But tell everybody about the violet flame in case they would like to get some more information, perhaps try it out.
Yes. So the violet flame, first of all, for everybody to know, is not to harm people. You're not going to set them on a violet fire and let them burn.
Hopefully they know that's my version, not yours. I mean, I'm crash and burn girl to start with. But okay. Okay. So your job is, as usual, to pinkify them and make them very sparkly and send everybody to the greater good while I'm looking for the dumpster. But okay. So you do the violet flame. What is the deal with that?
So the violet flame is like a spiritual practice that is really old. And it has been introduced to us by Saint Germain. I have it here, not for you actually. I took it for someone else, but I
Okay.
don't know if you can show it. There's a book here. It's called The
Oh,
Violet
yeah.
Flame,
Yeah.
and it's written by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. If
It looks like
anybody,
it has an amethyst on it. Is that an amethyst?
yes. It looks like, yeah. I love to
Nice.
associate it with the amethyst, but I do love to associate it even more with the lilac fluorite or a rainbow fluorite.
No, lilac.
Because
Okay,
the
that's going to
violet
be on my
flame,
list.
similar to the fluorite, has this incredible power of transmutation and turning the negative into positive.
The violet fluorite does?
Not the violet flame, the lilac fluorite. The crystal is
lilac.
lilac fluorite or the rainbow fluorite.
I mean, I'm the one that needs a transformation most. Have you told me that before? I don't. Okay, maybe. What we need to do is you have a link, by the way, because I know what's going to happen is I'm going to get all kinds of messages about where do I get the crystals. By the way, you guys, you cannot just go to Amazon and get these crystals because I hear that sometimes the crystals are dead. I heard a whole thing. That's a whole other podcast, but just don't get them random on the internet randomly. I'm going to put a link. If you can send me the link, Viola, to
Yes.
your crystals. So it's the lilac fluorite and the rainbow fluorite.
The amethyst as well is amazing. I love the fluorite idea. When I've been introduced to the violet flame, my teacher told me about it. She's like, I know you work with crystals. Amethyst is really great. And then while she was talking about it, I was like, wait, I'm going to introduce you to another crystal. And she fell in love with that crystal so much that days after she sent me a message and was like, I got one. Look at it.
Wow. Okay.
It is an amazing combination. You don't have to use crystals when you do it, but it's nice to associate them.
To associate with the violet flame.
Yes. How do you do the violet flame? The violet flame is the idea that you're asking help to the protector and the guides and the angels of the violet ray. Now,
Okay.
there's something that I really love because I'm earthy and grounded. I love scientific information. So
Yeah.
scientifically, the violet ray is the highest vibrational ray in the spectrum of light that we can see with our eyes.
Got it.
So it does have a very high vibration.
Got it. So Einstein would probably even say that. Okay.
Einstein said something beautiful that I oftentimes say to people. Einstein said that, in which is basically explaining manifestation through physics. He said that if you want something, you have to vibrate at the same length of the things that you want, and you will get it.
This is Einstein.
Einstein. I will send you the quote because, of course, it's in
Wow.
English. I don't know how to say it properly, but he literally
yeah.
said this. And then he says, this is not magic. This is physics.
Okay. Well, Albert
I did
would
post
know.
it in my Instagram, but a long time ago. I'm going to find it and send it to you.
Text me the link to the crystals and to Albert Einstein, and I'll.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
So keep going. So Albert says, "Hey, listen, the violet flame, you're good. Vibrate at that level." And you say, "Okay, you call the angels. Do you call the archangel Michael? We've been talking a lot about him lately."
Yes, the Archangel Michael, I don't call him necessarily because of the violet flame. For the violet flame is the Archangel Zachiel.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad we clarified that. So Zachiel. Okay.
However, there is one of the decree of the violet flame also dedicated to the Archangel Michael, because the Archangel Michael is, among other things, it is, let's say, I don't know if you can call it the Archangel of people, but he's the Archangel that when you call upon angels, it's kind of his duty to be there.
Well, you said also too, he's the big boss. I mean, we said that God is the big boss, but he's a big boss, and he had the crystal sword or something. That this is the first time I heard yesterday. He's the protector, and we have to like spend a couple minutes on him after the violet flame, because that's when I had the 3 evil eyes that it took all the Italian witches and their olive oil to get rid of. I had so many evil eyes. Can you imagine how many evil eyes I'm going to get after this podcast? Lord, the Italian witches are going to be full service.
I love how you translate and put things together.
Well, that's right. I mean, right. I'm like, I wouldn't have needed the Italian witches if I had the Archangel Michael and all these purple flames. So
The Archangel Michael doesn't have a crystal sword, but there is a crystal that is called the sword of the Archangel Michael, and it is the blue kyanite.
I'd like to say that's deceiving. It's bad advertising, because to say in
Maybe
English,
he has a crystal sword. I don't know, but this is something I'm not aware of.
I'm going to talk to him tonight. Okay, so keep going.
Yes, let me know.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so
But
another
how do you use
cyanide
the
fluoride.
crystal flame?
Okay, so back to the crystal flame, the violet flame. So you do, so because you have a chant you do, and you, when you're folding hot Rafa's clothes, you told me you do the chant. You call up the violet flame. What is the chant?
So before doing anything, I always call upon, people ask, when you call upon our guide, I don't call them by name. I'm just saying, my guides, my angels.
Like anybody who's available, you'll take them.
Yes.
Yeah. You're just like,
Because
who's ever
people
out there.
sometimes they get confused. They're like, I don't know who I have to call. I was like, you don't need names. If you want to say entity of lights, if you want to say guides, if you want to say angels.
So it's like you go to Home
planets.
Depot, looking for a handyman, who's ever out there, you take them. That's the same with you, the principle with the guides. You're just like,
Exactly.
anybody who's available, come on, get in the truck. Okay.
Exactly.
Keep going.
And you ask for protection, you ask for permission, and you ask for support. This is really, really important for me.
Yeah.
I do it even before the Reikis and all the spiritual practices I do, I always ask for protection, permission, and support.
Okay.
And then you can imagine a violet flame. I usually start allowing the violet flame burning through my heart and then slowly going all over my body. And sometimes I even fill up the room, slowly. The more time you stay, the more you can do it. The first time it's going to be hard. The first time maybe we can do the heart and a little bit around, give yourself some grace.
Maybe the heart and the arteries, then we sort of graduate to the collarbone or so.
Yes. Or if it's easier for you, you can just imagine a violet plasma around you that protects you.
Okay.
I always think that you know what you need.
Okay.
Instinctively, we have this intuition. When I do Reiki, sometimes with some people in some moments, I'm like, wait, tell me which crystal is, attracting you. Is there any crystal? I think the first time we did it, I remember you picked an azurite.
Yeah.
So because we know what we need.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I talked to someone and was like, I think you need this kind of crystal. And they're like, I've been attracted by this crystal. It's in my pocket. And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow. Yeah.
okay, it's the same crystal. Fine, keep on using it.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. And then you told me to have a labradorite in my shoe or in my left pocket. And I swear to you, I lost it. It broke. And then finally you gave up. You just said, I don't know if it was Archangel Michael's fault or whose fault, but you just said, give up. This is not supposed to, something's
Yes,
happening. Okay. So,
sometimes we're not meant to. I've had a very weird relationship with labradorites myself. They stay with me for a while, and then suddenly they're like, "That's it, thank you, we're done. Move the next."
yeah, the crystal died. So we're back to permission. And we got, what did we get? Permission, protection,
And
and
support.
support. Okay.
Then you can do the flame itself or the plasma around you.
okay.
And there are several decrees. If you get the book of Elizabeth Clare Prophet, there are several ones there. My
Yeah.
very favorite, because it's also the easiest,
Mhm.
is I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. So I
Okay,
know
got
that
it.
not everybody resonate with the word God,
Yeah.
but the word God there, it really is to represent a higher source of energy.
Got it.
So if you go in all religions and even in spirituality that is not linked to any religions, we all believe that there is a bigger and stronger source of energy.
Right. Right.
So in the decree is called God, but it's whatever God means to you.
Right. Got it. Okay.
I have to
And
become Catholic to do the violet flame.
yeah, yeah. So you got the laundry out, you're folding, you say the whole I am the child of the violet flame, violet, etc. And you just keep repeating that, right?
Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. The first times that you try, I would recommend not to do anything because you have to get used to it. So it's hard sometimes. For some people, it's harder. For some people, it's easier, but to visualize the flame.
So kind of do it as a meditation before you start switching to
Exactly.
the
At the
laundry and
beginning,
mowing the
yeah, I
lawn.
would do it like this. Also, if you go on Spotify, I'm sure on YouTube,
Spotify. Oh, okay. We
what
can
you
go
call
with,
it? Spotify? Did I call it right?
you called it perfectly.
Spotify.
It's
Spotify.
Spotify, but I like Spotify, and a lot of people are probably listening to this on Spotify. So shout out Spotify. Yes.
So if you go on this place, you can write like, violet flame music.
Oh,
And you can
okay.
find some really nice musics that can help you. Or you can also do something that I like when I do the cleaning, the energetic cleansing of my house with the violet flame. I like to put the sounds of crackling fire.
Ooh, that's kind of good. Bring it home. Do you bake any cookies or anything in the background, or no, you don't eat sugar?
No, I don't bake them because I don't want to waste the time of baking cookies. I just put the music and I do
Yeah,
my
I'm just
meditation.
wondering, do we need a smell? We don't need a smell. We need the crackling fire and the purple flame.
And then
Okay.
you just repeat it over and over again. Ideally, they say you should repeat it like in nines.
Oh, okay,
Like
nice.
9 and multiple of 9. I
Okay.
have to be honest. If you want, I'm wearing a japa mala. No, it wasn't on purpose. Look
who?
how pretty it is. A
What?
japa
Oh,
mala.
a japa mala, everybody. Okay.
It's like a Buddhist rosary kind of.
Okay.
And wait, I made it. Okay,
You did?
Yes.
It's really
You like
beautiful.
It's
I
really
do
cute.
like it. Yeah. Should sell
It's
it to Chanel.
108 little beads.
Oh, wow. Cool. So that's how you, in case you're not good at math or you're dyslexic, you
108 is like in 9 times 12.
got it.
And 13 is my number. So usually if I want to do it with this, I do with this and then I add 9 more.
There you go. Okay.
However, just go for it. Just
Got it.
say it over and over again. And when you're done, you're done. What I always ask people, once you're finished, say thank you. Before
Yeah.
you ask for protection, permission, and support, at the end, say thank you for the permission, the support, and the authorization.
So
and
kind of thank you to everybody who showed up for the shift.
Yeah. I
got
always
it.
say thank you to whoever came, whether you called upon them or not. There's
Right.
so much more than we can see and feel and
Oh,
understand.
100%. 100%. Now, I have to be respectful of your time because I could be here all day, but I know you told me you have a hard stop. But one thing I think we're going to have to do, unfortunately, is bring you back to talk about two things. One, the Italian witches and how I had all the evil eyes and was very bogged down, and then how you had to do a clearing of my chicken coop because that was all related. And then the other thing I think is now I'm supposed to, as of yesterday, and I can't wait till Juan Dangerous hears this today when he shows up is that am I allowed to say that I'm supposed to be drinking the water out of the green jar?
You can.
Okay,
You can
but
say,
nobody's able to touch my jar, right? Nobody
no.
can touch it, but they can know about it. So in other words, I need a green jar full of water every night that has to go out with the moon. A green glass, it's not a green jar.
Yeah, but it has to be in glass material,
Oh,
not
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
plastic.
It's not, yeah, like PVC plastic or whatever. Okay, so the green glass jar, hopefully with a top, because with me, I'll have bugs in it. And then every night it goes out in a big do not disturb sign on it, right? Because that's going to be the one thing in the whole house everybody's going to try to clean up. And it's going to say, do not touch my green water. And that's because I'm from another planet.
Yeah.
Okay. And we leave that for another session. Now, how can everybody get a hold of Mrs. Murrone? They can get you on Instagram, website. What is it?
Instagram is the easiest because I check it more often.
And you guys are going to love this. What is the Instagram? Just you're going to blow.
At feelandheal.me.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of men out there who would like to be healed and healed by you. So that's Rafa. I'm afraid for you. You're going to stop traveling.
Let me tell you something. I picked this name because we have two parts of the central nervous system, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic.
Right.
One part, we call it fight or flight.
Yes.
When we go in fight or flight, our whole body is frozen. So all our processes, like, digestion and reproduction, all these things, they don't work. Even fat burning process doesn't work.
The fat burning doesn't work. Now you have 100% my attention, because that's where I spent my whole life, is in fight or flight. I'm afraid or fleeing from something constantly.
But yes, because our brain doesn't see the difference between a real threatened event. Like, if there's a tiger in this room, or if you read an email that upsets you, your body doesn't know if the tiger is there or not.
So if every email is a tiger, if they upset me, then I got freaking Circus Vargas over here.
Yeah.
Full of tigers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are techniques, for example, deep meditation, reiki, the violet flame, the breathing, and so on, that help you switch off the fight or flight, which is the sympathetic part of the brain.
Yes.
And switch on the parasympathetic, which is the part that allows your body to work. And, all the organs function properly. You can burn fat, you can digest and everything. And that part of the brain is called rest and digest also, but is also called feel and heal.
So that you decided not to have the rest and digest handle on Instagram.
Yes, I wanted to feel and heal, because I think that you can heal. And it's even a little bit deeper. Like, when we take medicines to numb the pain?
Yes, I certainly do. I sure do. It's called Tito's and tonic. Yes.
But then if you numb the pain, you don't feel how bad you're feeling. So you do things you shouldn't be doing. Like, for example, if you have a pain in your back.
Yeah.
You should be resting, not taking pills and then go out.
That would cure a lot of the opioid crisis. So we have a lot, perhaps the violet flame, Archangel Michael, and could bring us everybody. So, I think we have to, leave them on the hook here. And we say thank you to Little Miss Hot at feelandheal.me. And we thank our listeners for actually listening and tuning in. And I would like to say, please follow the show on however you listen to it. I would like to say, please, if you'd like to see more of the show, rate it 5 stars. I'm just saying, just so I can put the last child through college would be extremely helpful. And then you can check us out on Instagram at The Party Goddess, 2 Ds, 2 S's. But Viola, I loved having you. As usual, I could talk all day. And what I didn't really want to tell you is this is basically like I got a free session. So haha.
I love it. Anytime for you.
All right. So you guys can go check out Viola on Instagram, and she's the bomb. And then you can find out how to get felt and helt and crystalled and cleared. And if you're lucky, she's going to talk to the Italian witches in the small village.
Yes.
All right.
Next time.
Thank you guys. Okay. I love it. This was awesome.